Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. Thank you for coming on. So today I am talking about how I did over 100 chakra readings and what I saw in common. And this is what the main blocks I see in so many people. So again, if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay. Adjusting my hair here for this live. Yes, so what did I see? I saw the 3 chakras that are blocked. I saw the lower chakras. It's these chakras right here. And this goes for many women. Okay? So I'm just going to show you the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. Those I see are the most blocked in people. Okay? I see those as the most blocked. And why is that? It's because a lot of reasons. A lot of people aren't grounded in their energy. And I always find that a lot of people have a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that get rooted, no pun intended, in depression, a lot of things that get rooted in lots of different negative emotions, which, by the way, that's sacral chakra energy. That's right here. That's the womb for many women. So if you have a lot of that energy, a lot of that sacral energy gets unprocessed, and it's not going like this. It's not going in a circle. It's getting stuck. You get a lot of things that get unprocessed, a lot of creative blocks, a lot of creative blocks, things like a lot of things won't work, right? And you do everything and lots of things get work. Hello, Facebook and YouTube crowd, how are you? Nice to see you. Please just say hi. Let me know where you're coming from below. And a lot of these things get stuck. And it's the reason why a lot of people cannot move forward in their lives, careers, businesses, relationships, anything that they have, they can't move forward with. Thank you guys so much. Hello from Texas. Where in Texas are you? Nice to see you. Yes, so a lot of the lower chakras, right, like I said, right here, will get blocked. The root chakra, which represents stability. It represents your foundation. Plano, Texas. Yes, I live in the North Dallas, Texas area too. A lot of the chakras are in your grounded energy, right? It's in your grounded energy. And you have a lot of, if that's blocked in any way, your stability will get rocked, right? Root chakra. And when it gets rocked, it gets stuck. And what I say, it gets stuck in your flow, your energy flow. And a lot of flow-like states will get stuck in the sacral because a lot of it is emotional. It's emotional. It's the thought process, not being totally rooted and grounded in your energy. What's up, Miracle Boy? Hello, Luca. How are you? Nice to see you guys here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And when it comes to your solar plexus, this chakra right here, your solar plexus, that also represents your confidence, your imposter syndrome, your self-esteem. A lot of women that I work with that have businesses and they work with that, a lot of your solar plexus, first of all, represents your sales. It represents your sales as a business owner, by the way. So didn't know that already, now you do. and you have questions. Okay, cool. If you and that represents a lot of that represents imposter syndrome and represents your self-esteem, your worthiness. All of those things are also located in the solar plexus. That's the one that I always see that's either blinking. When I read the chakra, it's always like blinking like this. Or when I read the chakra, it's when I read that chakra, it's usually dimmed out, as I say. And that their chakra is, hold on, I have to get rid of this troll. And their chakra, that chakra is usually pretty blocked. I see a lot of trauma in that region. I see a lot of emotional, and a lot of emotions when they don't get processed, they actually can manifest as physical things. So that is what I see in a lot of people, and in a lot of the women that I work with, and I do work with men too. I have read for men. It's just the thing is that the people that show up for themselves, and that want to do the work and that want to transmute their energy, it's usually women who want to do that. So that, yes. So like I said, the root chakra is your stability. The solar plexus is your emotional. It's also where the ego and divine feminine, actually, when I work with when I do read for men, I actually see that chakra as being one of the more dominant chakras in the body. It's actually a bright orange for me. It's actually a bright orange for me. And usually that's ego related. It's when a chakra is too is really big, it's ego. Represents the ego, that represents overconfidence, that represents cockiness. And when it does relate to ego, I usually see that in the solar plexus as well. And I did read that for somebody one time, and they ended up having a situation where somebody else had to tell them the same thing. So to watch their ego, So yeah, it's not as confident, but with women, I see that chakra. When I look at that chakra, I see that chakra as being the most one of the most dimmed out, and it's actually one of the most blocked. It's actually the most blocked in people. Now, the root chakra for many people, it's not as blocked. A lot of people, and I think that's more like mindset. A lot of people feel like that they don't have money, which that's also money flow. Those things, those are root chakra related. So a lot of people think that they don't have money when they do. I will see it in their energy field. I will see it in their chakras and their overall energy field, like they do. But when I look at their overall picture, it's like they have a lot of limiting beliefs. Lots of limiting beliefs regarding things like money. And this is all stuff that I had to go through. Hello, Abdul. These are things that I had to go through myself. Knowing that you are abundance, switching your mindset, switching the alchemy around, being the alchemist in your own life, and being the creator of things, and finding opportunities where there may not be. Not being in the lack energy, being in the abundance mindset, right? So these are things that Neville Goddard talks about in his meditations. If you are a big fan of Neville Goddard, this is also what he also talks about, which I listen to now. Not only do I listen to Neville Goddard, I kind of repeat his affirmations every morning, and I kind of switch them around to make my brain, to have it sink into my brain a little bit more. And I also write them down because neuroscience tells us when you listen to something, when you write it down, and when you hear it in your mind, it actually will make things go a lot quicker for you. So money mindset is one of the other things that I also help my clients do as well as identity shifting, as well as creating that new reality for themselves through their own chakras. So solar plexus chakra blocks are pretty common. Solar plexus chakra blocks are super, super common with a lot of the people that I read. That is self-doubt, being self-doubt, self-aware. Whenever I see blackness around the chakras, and I will see blackness around that, it's usually related to some sort of childhood trauma related to that. And I will usually check. I also, and I'm going to talk more about the throat chakra as well. I'm going to talk about the throat chakra and releasing through the throat chakra. Because there's also a lot of emotions that relate to the sacral that I see in the throat as well. And that is almost always related to some sort of childhood trauma, not being able to speak up from themselves, not being able to speak in situations, being afraid to, having a fear. It's almost always a fear of being seen, right? So, which, for a business owner, that's the social media chakra. The throat chakra is a social media chakra, right? And I always, whenever I see that's almost always a fear of being seen. That's also sacral chakra energy, a fear of being seen, not being good enough, not being worthy enough, not being able to talk about their experiences out loud, being able to speak out loud. All of these things, right? All of these things. Those are the biggest issues I always see in the lower chakras. So how do you fix it? Well, I think I just said it earlier. You fix it by grounding. If I see somebody's lower chakras being totally blocked, that is one of the first things I tell them. Unblock it by doing grounding exercises every single day, putting your bare feet in the grass, touching a tree, leaning against a tree for 5 to 10 minutes every day, taking an Epsom salt bath, using a grounding mat, meditating underneath some sunlight. That all helps creating that dream life for you. That all helps in creating that dream life and unblocking that root chakra. It unblocks that root chakra and that sacral pretty good. I will also take it a step further. If you really want to work with your sacral, if I read somebody, if they have like actual darkness around their sacral region, I actually do ask and say, are you seeing any sort of PTSD therapist? Are you seeing a mental health therapist around that region? Because it's usually related to something, either mental health or even physical health related. So I will usually ask them that question. And if they are, then I move them forward, because there's some things that I won't do. I'm not going to pretend to sit here and say that I am like a certified mental health therapist. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a certified, a psychologist or somebody that can truly help them work through work through like super heavy trauma when I'm not certified in those things. That's something that I am not going to pretend that I do, but I will give them some other tools that were recommended by people by highly certified and highly educated people that I have worked with as well. So I will give them those tools, but that is the farthest I will go with that. I will do things that do spiritually help them transmute that energy, help them alchemize that energy in that region as well. And I would say about all of them that I worked with were seeing some sort of PTSD therapist, somebody that like EMDR, things like that. That being said, I also recommend working with the nervous system. Working with your nervous system will always help you into releasing a lot of tension in the body, because there are certain things that do get stored in the body, certain emotions, those things, stagnant energy. And I always recommend that either to really work with the nervous system, to either move around, walk every day. Again, that's a study that's actually done. You can actually look this up yourself. Walking, shaking your body out will actually help regulate that nervous system too. So, moving your body, even moving your neck around and going like this, like putting your eyes to the back of your head like this, turning around, twisting, holding for 15 seconds on one side and doing it again on the other for 15 seconds, and then looking up and then twisting your neck for 15 seconds and then doing the other way for 15 seconds. Doing it like that will also help you calm down. You can also take ice plunges. You can do a billion different things. You can also twerk. You can dance, you can do a million things. There's literally a lot of, there's so many things you can do. The ones that I recommend are the ones that work, which is shaking, twisting your body around, twisting your hips around, like really just making sure you move your body every single day for the next 30 to 40 to 50 days. Consistently do it. Make it a plan for yourself. And I know we're at December and there's about 25 days left, which is a great time. That's a great day to start a new habit. And I want everybody tuning in right here to make a note to yourself to start right now. If you've never done grounding, ground yourself, bare feet in the grass, shake your body, do a 30-minute to 40-minute walk every day outside every day. I know it's winter, it's kind of cold out, so if you can't do it outside, just make sure you're moving your body around indoors. Do it indoors, go outside, 1 to 2 minutes, bare feet in the grass, or you can just hug a tree if it's really cold out. I know that some people in the north are like freezing their butts off, so make sure you're getting that. Or if it's really too cold for you, just get yourself a grounding mat on Amazon. Okay, get yourself a grounding mat on Amazon and just sit there. I'm actually putting my feet on a grounding mat right now. So make sure you do that, and make sure you are having goals for yourself, clear-cut goals for yourself that you can possibly do every single day, and don't deter from them. Don't deter from your goals, because when you deter from your goals, and when you make exceptions for yourself, and again, I was the biggest offender of this, right? I was the biggest offender, like, well, maybe if I do this, and maybe if I didn't, no. You need to make a promise to yourself that this is what your goal is, and this is what I'm going to do to do it. Action steps, right? And I always tell people, like, yes, it's manifesting through the chakras. Yes, it's law of attraction, but it doesn't mean set it and forget it. It's not an oven, right? And a lot of people like to compare manifestation to an oven, baking things in the oven. That's not what this is. That's not really what this is. Okay, yes, it is a kind of a set it and forget it, but you also have to do action steps, right? You also have to make the cake. You also have to make the cookie. You also have to make the thing. Like, you know what I mean? You have to you have to measure out the flour. You have to measure out. Those are action steps. Those are things that you need to do. And then once that's all done, yes, then you can just bake it in the oven, set it and forget it, and don't check on it. Right? And don't check on it. So yes, action steps. So what about okay, let's say, for example, root chakra. Root chakra. What are we going to do? Like, okay, I see a money block in your root chakra. What are we going to do? I want to, I don't have an extra $5,000 every month. I would like to have an extra $5,000 every month. Okay, great. Let's see what we can do about making an extra $5,000 every month. All right, do you have a job? And do you have a job? Do you have a business? Yes, you have a business. What would you like to do in your business? I want to get more clients. I want to get more income. I want to get more. Okay, great. So what are we going to do? What's the strategy we're going to do with that business? So, or I want to get a better job. I want to get a better job. I want to get a better career every month. Or I want to start a high side hustle that would get me $5,000. Okay, great. What are some potential side hustles? Give me a list of potential side hustles, right, that you can do for an extra $5,000 every single month. All right. And then what I want you to do is I want you to write it down every single month. I have $5,000 every single month. It's in my bank account. It's in my bank account. Thank you, universe, for the extra $5,000. And then you can even write it down, fold it up, put it underneath your pillow, and then really set it and forget it. And then put it in your mindset. I'm going to be making an extra $5,000 every single month. I'm going to make an extra $5,000. I will. Don't say going to. Say I will. I will make an extra $5,000 every single month. And I have an extra $5,000 every single month. I have an extra $5,000 every single month. Thank you, universe, for it. This is what I'm doing with it. And actually, write down a budget for the extra 5,000 that you have. All right, so 2,000 is going here, 1,000 is going here, and 1,000 is going here, and 1,000 is going here. And that's it. And you can do that. Okay, I want an extra 100,000 every month. Great. What's that budget look like? Right? Have that action step down. Who are you talking with at that extra 100,000? What does that version of you who shows up as that version of you, right? Who is that person that comes in to your life and shows up every single day as the $100,000 per month business owner, or somebody that has that is an executive at a company? Who is that person? How does she walk? How does she talk? How does she act? How does she create in their life? What does their daily life look like? And then there's you can script that out as you want. There's a million different scripting prompts that I could probably give you. The problem is with those scripting prompts is that it's not actually being, it's not actually doing. You need to be, and you need to do, you need to embody. You need to embody. And that's a hard one for many people. Embodiment, right? Embodying that dream life, embodying that version of you that walks and talks and acts like the $100,000 per month person. So now I ask you, what does that person do? All right, and this is just one example. Let's go into the sacral for a second here. What does the person that is completely unbothered by what anybody tells them? Who does she look like, and how does that feel in her body? How does that feel in her body? How does she wake up as the completely unbothered and totally confident solar plexus, totally confident person? How does she wake up? All right, that's a question I wanted to ask for you today. How does she wake up? How does she how does she step in every single day of the week? And while we're going into 2026, how do you want that person of you to be in 2026? And what can you do right now? What can you do right now to be that person in 2025? In the last few weeks of 2025, what can you do to be that person right now at this very moment? Because time is infinite. And time isn't always where everybody thinks it is. You always have enough time. You're never late. You're always you are always on time. And I'm a Capricorn rising, so we feel like we never have enough time. So that is what I want to leave you with. If you guys, speaking of abundance, if you guys want to learn where your abundance story came from through generational trauma, if you have generational trauma around money, if you know you have generational trauma around money, if you know you have things passed down to you, this is a really good work. This is a really good replay of the masterclass that I had that talked about clearing generational trauma. Because a lot of people don't know that they have it on them. And I really point this out, and I give you a lot of exercises to work with. I also have a workbook that you get for it. It's 11 USD. If you are interested, go ahead, check it out. Go to the description box or the caption. You'll get the link. I will look forward to seeing you guys there. And yeah, let's start this whole season out right. Let's end this year out right, and let's plan for 2026 and be in that complete mode of complete creation and success for you guys. I love you guys so much. Please take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.